All right, welcome back, class. This is the Unit 7 review. If you're not in class today, we have an exam tomorrow on Unit 7, so we're going to go over the review and make sure that we're ready and understand how to solve one-step or multiple-step equations. So let's look here. We're going to warm up, review these integer operations. We can rewrite them. So if we have -3 minus 4 in this first one, we can rewrite it as -3 plus a -4. So now we see we're adding, and when we're adding, if we have the same sign, which we do, they're both negative, they're going to stay negative, and then we add our numbers here. So then 3 plus 4 is 7. So that's -7. Where's my cursor? There it is. This next one, we're dividing. And the pass rule works for multiplication and division. If we're dividing and our signs are different, our quotient is going to be negative, and then 12 divided by 3 is 4. So I hope these are clicking and you're remembering these operations. -4 times -6. So pass rule, they're both negative, so our answer will be positive. And then 4 times 6 is 24. Now, in this case, we're finding a difference because we have a negative and a positive. So we're looking to see which one of the two are bigger. And in this case, the negative is bigger. So that means we'll have a negative answer. And then the difference between 9 and 5 is 4. So that's -4. Let's check out this one. So mental math. -5 times what is 20? Well, our product is positive, and one of our answers is negative. That means the other one has to be negative because a negative times a negative is positive. A negative times a positive would be negative. So it has to be times negative. And then 5 times what is 20? That'd be 4. Let's check this one. Okay, look at this. Now we have a quotient. We need to put something right here. 15 divided by what is -3? Again, the pass rule works for multiplication and division. So we know that since this is positive and that's negative, when we're dividing, it has to be negative. And 15 divided by what would be -3? It'd be -5. Mentals. These are mental operations. Again, the difference. Which one is bigger? 8, which is positive, so it's going to be positive, and the difference is 3. Let's check this one. So it could be where we're adding negatives, but this is going to be bigger. Well, technically bigger than if we look at a number line, -9. So to get from -9 to -3, we would have to go a +6. So the difference between -9 and -3 is just 6. And the difference between -9 and 6 would be -3. That's kind of how we would want to think about that one. Okay, so now we're doing one-step equations. We draw our line. We're going to want to do inverse operations. It's x plus 4 equals 10, so we want to subtract or add a -4 to both sides. We're doing the opposite of adding 4. We're adding a -4. Now these simplify. So we're left with just x equals 6 because I did 10 plus a -4. Again, we're going to do the opposite of subtracting 2. We're adding 2 to both sides. Therefore, x equals, what's the difference here? It's going to be negative because -9 is bigger, and the difference is 7. I'm going to use orange. I like orange. 12 plus 6, x equals -2. So this is a positive 12, so we're going to add a -12 to both sides, or just subtract 12. So now these simplify, so we're left with x equals, okay, we do have the same sign, -2 plus a -12. So we're going to keep the sign and add the values. I suppose I could box my answers too, just to be clear. -8 plus x equals 15. We have to do the opposite of -8. So we need to add 8 to both sides. So these simplify. Because these are additive inverses, when we add them together, we get a sum of 0. So technically, we would have 0 plus x, but I can just write it as x equals, well, 15 plus 8 is going to be 23. put a box around it. And if you're unsure of these answers, substitute them back in, because we know that as well. You can substitute it back in for x, and it would be 6 plus 4 equals 10. Right, and that would be true. Solving using a reciprocal or inverses. A reciprocal is an inverse. Again, I like to rewrite it just so I have some room. 1/4 x equals 9. So the inverse, if it's a over b, is going to be b over a. So this is 1/4. So my inverse, we're going to multiply both sides by 4/1. When we multiply these inverses, we get 1 out. So that means, I don't like that line, that means this times this is going to be 1. And we can check it because we multiply straight across. That is 4 times 1, which is 4, over 1 times 4, which is 4, x. Anything divided by itself is 1. So it would be 1x, or just x, equals. Again, you multiply straight across. 9 is the same as 9/1. So now you can see more clearly, hopefully, that it's 9 times 4 over 1 times 1, which would just be 36/1, or just 36. Okay, I'm going to rewrite it. 3/4 x equals 6. We have to multiply by the inverse, or the reciprocal. So that'd be 4/3. Flipping my values there. 4/4, that doesn't look like a 3. These simplify to 1. So we're left with just x equals, we multiply straight across, we'll have 6 times 4 is 24 divided by 3. We can divide that. 3 goes into 24 8 times. Yep, good. All right. We're always, when we're solving here, trying to find what our value of x is. It's not unknown quantity. We need to do inverses. -5 times x equals -30. That's what it means if it's -5x. It's -5 times x. So my inverse is divide by -5 on both sides. What you do to the left side, you must also do to the right side. Anything divided by itself is 1, so that's just x equals a negative divided by a negative is positive. So we get +6. One more here. 3 times x equals 21. 3 times x, so we need to divide both sides by 3 to get x by itself. Those simplify. So we have x equals 21 divided by 3 is 7. Again, if you want to check it, plug your value of x back in. See if it simplifies to whatever it equals, because your equations or your expressions should be balanced. Solve for x. So now we have multiple step equations. We're still trying to find out what x is. So first, if it's -4, we're going to add 4 to both sides. These simplify, so we have 3x equals 15. Now it's a product, so we need to divide both sides by 3. So we're left with x equals 5. Balance the equation, solve for x, subtract 6 from both sides. So we get 2/3 x equals 9 minus 6 is 3. Now we need to multiply by the reciprocal, which is 3/2. 3/2. We're going to have a fraction for x in this case because we multiply straight across. So it's going to be 3 times 3, which is 9, over 1 times 2, which is 2. So 9/2. Let's check it. Let's just see if when we plug in 9/2 for x, we get 9 out. So it'll be 2/3. I'm plugging in x right here times 9/2 plus 6 equals 9 is what we should get here. So this becomes, we multiply straight across, 18 over 6 plus 6 equals 9. We can simplify my quotient for order of operations to balance. 18 divided by 6 is 3, plus 6 equals 9. So look at that, it is true. So it is going to be a fraction or a rational number. First step, if it's -2x plus 5, we're going to subtract 5 from both sides. Those simplify. -2x equals 13 minus 5 is 8. x, we're going to divide by negative 2. We'll simplify, x equals negative 4. Additive inverse, if it's subtract 4, we're going to add 4 to both sides. So these simplify, so we have 1/3 x equals whatever this difference is. The negative 6 is bigger, so that's going to be a negative 2. Now I need to multiply by my reciprocal, so we have 3/1. Multiplied on both sides, so that product is 1, or 1x, equals negative 2 times 3 is negative 6/1 would just be negative 6. All right, now on the same side of an equation like we have on the left, we can combine like terms and simplify, then solve for x. So let's do that. We do have some like terms, but first I'm going to rewrite it as negative 3x plus 5 minus a negative is the same as adding the opposite, or adding 2x equals 13. Now I'm going to combine like terms, which I have some right here. Negative 3x plus 2x, we would want the difference. So the difference is going to be negative 1x, or just negative x, plus 5 equals 13. Now I have combined my like terms and simplified, so I'm going to simplify to solve for x. Adding 5, so I'm going to add a negative 5, or subtract 5 to both sides. Therefore, it's negative x, because these simplify, equals 13 plus a negative 5, or 13 minus 5 is 8. Then I need to divide by negative 1, because I just want x by itself. Negative x is the same thing as negative 1 times x. So that simplifies to x equals, divided by negative 1, negative 8. One more here. Combine like terms. I do see some like terms. My constants are like. Negative 4 plus 10. So the difference is going to be positive. The difference between 4 and 10 is 6. Equals 12. Now we can do additive inverses. We're going to add a negative 6 to both sides. Half x equals 12 minus 6 is 6. Multiply by the reciprocal. Get a product of 1x, so just x on the left, equals 6 times 2 is going to be 12. All right, and that's the review. If you're unsure on anything, just practice it more. I could see the reciprocals being an issue, and also when we're dividing, like this one right here, make sure if it's a negative 5, we need to divide both sides by negative 5, because we want x by itself. And that's all I have for today. Let me know if you have any questions, and thanks for watching.